So as crazy as it may seem to you, you will self-sabotage some business deals without you knowing you're self-sabotage. You think I've done my best. No, you haven't.
Welcome to Maxed Out Man, helping you become the man you were made to be.
Hey guys, it's Kevin Davis from the Maxed Out Man podcast. I'm going to be here today with Dr. Robb Kelly. He and I have been trying to connect for a little while, so we both agree this is going to be super good. So I hope you'll listen along and stick with us. Like I say, some of these are just for my own edification, and then you guys get to listen along, and this is definitely going to be one of those. I'm super excited about this one. Before I get started, I want to remind you guys to go to maxedoutman.com. I do have some space on some of my coaching programs. We've got some courses coming out soon and other things. So make sure you go check that out and see what we've got going on over there. Let me read Dr. Robb's quick bio, which is actually kind of extensive, but I want to get through it because I think it's all pertinent information. Dr. Robb's a psychologist and neuroscientist from the Robb Kelly Recovery Group, a telehealth neuroscience coaching company with, holy crap, a 97% success rate. Not a lot of people can boast that. Dr. Robb has an amazing story of how he successfully overcame addiction and helps others reach their potential. They work with patients to improve their optimal performance by using brain spotting and somatic experiencing. So, dude, we have so much to talk about there. Dr. Robb provides mentorship and guidance to inspiring entrepreneurs, I am one of those, so this is exciting for me. He devotes countless hours sharing his expertise through conferences and workshops, utilizing others who've overcome challenges associated with lifestyle changes, habit formation, childhood trauma, startup obstacles, etc. He also fosters a culture of innovation and responsible risk-taking. And if you're not watching this on video, he also has an amazing pair of eyeglasses on right now. So make sure you go over to YouTube and check out the video so you can see those. I love those, man. Those things are great. Welcome. I'm super excited for you to be here and talk about all this stuff. My daughter in the spring will graduate with her neuroscience degree. So wow. I'm sure she'll be all about listening to this episode. And so she's kind of finishing up that stuff. So I've had a bit of experience learning from her over time about this stuff. So welcome. Thanks for coming.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be good.
Yeah. So that's our LinkedIn bio, right? Like that's the PR bio, but let's find out. I want to get your full story and take as long as you want. I know there's addiction and recovery and helping people and all of that in there. That gives us an opportunity and gives me an opportunity to really get to know more about you.
Yeah, so it all started back in the day. I'm from England, in case you thought I was from South Texas. Been over here for about 18 years. I Dallas for 14 years and then moved to San Antonio to try and retire, but I didn't work out. We just got bigger and bigger.
Some people are terrible at retirement. You must be one of those.
Well, my dad always told me this, and I've never forgot it, Kevin, is the day you retire is the day you die. And I've seen it so many times. It's like when you retire, why don't you start an empire? You know, it was not that easy. It really is that easy. But when you know about the neuroscience behind, most people walk around 40 to 60% of their capability. So suffered from alcoholism when I was young. Took my first drink at 9. Musician on stage with my musical family, my auntie and uncle. I remember the day as if it was yesterday. Took the first drink because I was nervous. My uncle gave it to me. And went great for years and years. Alcohol was my best friend. It gave me confidence. I went to college. Nobody in my family's been to college before. You know, I was achieving all these great things. And then around 24, 25 years old, 26, around that area, it all went to shit. You know, it just savagely took me to the streets. And I lost everything. I lost my kids, I lost my wife, houses, cars. I lost everything. And I was abandoned on the street. I had 7 suicide attempts, and on 2 occasions it worked. I was dead. So when people say today, why do you take risky chances? Like, I died twice on the streets. Do I have to? What? Why wouldn't I? You know, I've been given 2 lives in one lifetime, is the way I see it. So, you know, I just grew up in Manchester and went down to Oxford to get educated, and then came back to Manchester a few years, and then came over here. But during that time, obviously, the streets and stuff like that. You see, I come from the projects where you were brought up to fight. I was a bodybuilder and MMA before MMA come out. It's called bare knuckle fighting with the gypsies, the travelers. I used to love that stuff, So when I was homeless, I could take care of myself, even though I was drunk most of the time. I could take care of myself. But as the days went on and the weaker I got from not eating but just drinking alcohol, eventually I got my teeth knocked out, my nose broken, stuff like that. But I always swore to myself, Kevin, if I ever got off the street, I would spend the rest of my life helping families and patients to recover from alcoholism and addiction. But what we found as a whole is 5 years ago, 95% addiction, 5% entrepreneurs. Now it's 95% entrepreneurs. People find out who they are, childhood trauma, depression, and building empires with 5% alcohol and addiction. Because we delved into the neuroscience behind everything, and it was like, I've worked with about 9,000 people over the years. I'm not just a fly-by-night. I've worked with 10 people. What our program is the only program that offers a money-back guarantee if you don't achieve what we tell you you're going to achieve, which is your dream, and 98% success rate. We're bordering on aggressive to get you to the place where you want to go, and we've never failed yet. So yeah, that's me.
I want to dig into so much of that, but since this was the last thing you said, tell me what bordering on aggressive means, because I've been accused of being that way. I had somebody yesterday tell me, I was on the phone with him, and he made some statement, and I just basically blasted him for it, quote unquote, in a loving way. And he said, "Dude, you are so one of those people that love you when you need to be loved and will stab you in the face when you need to be stabbed."
Love it. That's me. Yeah, I've not got time. One thing I hate in this world, and hate's a strong word, but I'm going to say hate is weak man. I can't do it. If you're not my guy, go away. If you want to achieve, come on. I've got all day. I'll love you. I'll give you the shirt off my back. But don't sit there, criticizing me for raising my voice when I'm all excited and ready to go. You're shouting too loud. Go somewhere else. I don't care. I don't need your money. I don't want your money. But if you come on board, we're going to get you there. So aggressive for me means that we're going to go to any length to make sure you get where you're going. And I've worked with anybody out there. I work with movie stars, entrepreneurs, film stars. I work with musicians. That's my forte. I'm a concierge doctor today. I only have 3 patients every 3 months. That's all I deal with. And the rest of the company deal with, we've got psychotherapists and coaches deal with the general public. But yeah, I will fight toe to toe with whatever's stopping you. Are you ready? So you got to come ready, guys. I think we're the only company again that has an assessment, even for entrepreneurs. I mean, go through how willing are you to do everything we tell you to do? And we've turned down more people than we've taken on. And people go, "You're crazy." I turned down a famous pop star for $1 million, Dallas, Texas, in Campese's restaurant. I had $200, $300 in the bank, Kevin. And I turned her down because she wasn't ready. And the next week, she's shaving of heads and all that stuff. It's like we do what we do because we love what we do, but we're very good at what we do. And that's why, we have a sliding scale for general public, but that's why people, are paying extortionate amounts of money to work with me because that's my worth.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the level of success. And in anything, whether it's me with my wife or another guy with his wife, it has to be something to where you're fully committed and both parties have to be committed. If you guys are committed on your side and the person is committed on their side, then you can have success. But if you only half-ass it, I always tell my girls, make sure you use your whole ass. No half-assing anything, right?
Yeah.
What would you describe? You use the phrase weak men, and I'd love to get your take on what that looks like versus what it looks like to be a strong man. Because we talk, obviously on this thing, we talk a lot about masculinity and like this holistic approach to masculinity and what it means to be strong. I tend to lean, and I've said this on the podcast many times, I tend to lean towards alpha male. Right. Yeah. Like I'm more traditional and work out and know how to build crap and build cars and all that stuff. So I would consider however, I treat my wife like a princess and serve her in every possible way. So I would consider that being strong. And I hustle and have 8 companies and all that stuff. But I want to get your definition of that and how that plays out.
Weak men are the guys that we don't have cry rooms, by the way, in any of my offices around the world. We don't stand for none of that shit. If you're going to come in, give it all, stand up, be a man, be a leader, really inspire other people. Don't go on having affairs behind everyone's back or beating your wife up. That's not a man. That's a weak man. I don't like them guys. You stand up, and anybody can be a strong man. With the things that we have. You've just said it. We look after our wives. We're alpha male. When me and you walk into a room, people know we've walked into the room. We don't have to shout or do nothing. That's a strong man. A strong man who sits with his babies and tells nursery rhymes. A strong man that'll, play football with his kid. All these things that we do as a parent and as a man, we do it proudly, and we don't take any shit off anybody. Mm-hmm. That's me, and that's you. You can tell that by just looking at you, Kevin. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to take shit off anybody. You just know. That's my guy. That's the people that me and you are fighting to get back into this world, because we seem to have lost that a little bit over the years. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, I don't care. I'm not saying go do what you do, man. But I seek out the guys that are owning up to their responsibilities and acting the proper way. Act accordingly, dress accordingly, and speak accordingly. And anybody can do this. It's free of charge. Your childhood trauma might be keeping you back. You don't have to be built like Kevin and I. You don't have. You could be like 80 pounds and be a freaking leader. It's an inside job. What's in here? Are you constantly lifting people up, helping people, showing people that, hey, look, this is what I do. Patient walks in the day, I'm literally hands and knees scrubbing the floor because we had a stain on it. And like, oh my God, what are you doing? I'm scrubbing the floor. Why? Why don't you just say, no, cleaner does that? I'm not going to ask anybody to do what I'm not prepared to do. So that's how I describe both of them. It's like, stand up for what you're about and stand up strong and shout it out loud if you need to. But the kind and loving and shirt off my back. Man, I'd give $150,000 a year back to the community that need help. The less than fortunate, can't afford groceries. We just put it back into the community, man, because it makes me feel good. And I'm blessed to be here anyway. I died twice on the streets. So yeah, that strong man is my guy, but we will work with people that are not there 100%. You got to be willing, man. That's the difference. You're either in or you're out. There's no middle of the road. We're not a cocky factory. You don't sugarcoat shit over here. You're either going to make it or you're not. And that's kind of what the assessment is about. And if you don't make it, I don't care. If you come on to us, I'm your guy. And you become part of my family. But if your parents come along, like we've done loads of times in Dallas, with a huge checkbook, getting little Johnny to come on because he might stay out of court, go away. Go to treatment or go. I'm not your guy.
What does that assessment look like for you guys? Like, can you give me some of those? I don't want to give away the farm or anything, but I'm curious, and let's frame it in context of like, hey, I want to understand if I'm the kind of guy that is willing to do what it takes, right? Not necessarily willing to work with you, which is, a byproduct, obviously, but I want to know kind of what that looks like as a guy or as a woman that's listening to this. We predominantly men and the women that love them. That's what we say, right?
Yeah. The assessment is anything from 3 minutes to 3 hours. It's a flat fee for it. And what I'm looking for you being here for the wrong reasons. Let's take a real easy one, which was, and like I say, 5% is drugs, alcohol. We don't really deal with that a lot anymore. But couple come in, very wealthy couple with the son, 16 years old, takes oxycodone, all that stuff, can't stop. He wants to come. He's a couple of days clean. His parents are very proud. We bring him in for the assessment. This is part of how I get to it. I knew he wasn't in by the way he was acting. My second PhD, first one psychology, second in behavioral science. So when he sits down, I know he's not here for the right reasons. So I said to him, hey, listen, you want to start Monday? It's Thursday. Oh, yeah, I'll start Monday, yeah. I said, well, here's the deal. I've got 2 Xanax in my drawer from another patient. We had to take it off. What if me and you bang a Xanax now? to chill out for a bit, meet on Monday, we start again. He's like, oh my God, yes. I stood up, walked out to the parents and said, we don't want to take him. And they go, but Dr. Robb, they get the checkbook out. You can't buy our services. You have to earn them. I'd spent so much time, Kevin, working with people that didn't want it. I spent so much time giving my services free. And do you know where it got me 9 years ago? In a freaking psychiatric ward. That's where it got it. So if you're not ready, I don't want to know. And we'll pull all sorts of stuff on the assessment. But mostly guys, because I have a reputation now, they turn up like you. You know, they've tried everything else. They know they're only doing 70% and they can get to 100% by working with us. Them guys that know what the deal is. Streetwise guys, love streetwise guys. You know, I've got, obviously, behind me, educated from the best universities in the world. Nothing. Doesn't mean anything today. What means things is they're living on the streets. They're bringing up the streetwise, knowing to be streetwise and clever and be able to talk to people. So that's the assessment. And the quickest one has been a minute. And the longest one has been 36 minutes before, and we'll take him on, but we ain't afraid to fire you or anything like that. That's in the contract. If you start acting an idiot and don't do as you tell us to do, because my reputation is online, my percentage and my money back guarantees on the line, we will fire you, man. And you ain't getting no refund here. You know, you're either in or you're out.
And that's part of that commitment, right? Like that's a big part of what that means. Do you find, and I want to get into the mindset stuff and your research and those kind of things also, but do you find that people that come from challenging backgrounds tend to falter more or tend to reach in and lean into overall success? It's funny because I talk to so many entrepreneurs, and there's kind of this dichotomy between like, all right, it takes money to make money. So you have some major entrepreneurs that, you know, their parents were loaded and they happen to have a good, and they put the work in, but they had that safety net, right? I'm literally trailer trash, grew up in a trailer park, drugs and alcohol in my family and all that stuff. And so that taught me most of what I know about, you know, hustle, and I don't really like that word, but working hard and dealing with failure and challenges and all that. Is that kind of what you see overall?
Yeah, we see less privileges making it just like me and you, because they've got the drive, they've got hunger. And once we understand when we work on the neuroscience part that they're capable of doing that, and it's always been, the opportunity's always been around, but you haven't seen it, they're the guys. Because you look at, there's 4 entrepreneurs out there that are billionaires right now, all came through this company, all started with nothing. It's like when you already have money, like, I don't know, a politician right now, his father gave him $1 million to start a company back like 40 years ago, 50 years ago. It's like, it's good, but you don't have the hunger, you know, and America likes a comeback story. I've learned that as well. You know, if you don't have, if you haven't been through the stuff I've been through, we don't employ you, unfortunately. You know, we just don't, because you have to know how to help somebody, but you have to have gone through it. So if you're an entrepreneur, you kind of have to go through bankruptcy or no money in your life. So you can educate others, because this is what it's about. When you start, people come, well, I earn $1 million a year. My question is, why aren't you earning 2? They go, well, I'm at my peak. No, you're not. How do you know I'm not at my peak? You haven't worked with me. And I know that sounds arrogant, Kevin, but the years and years, I'm 63 years old now. I don't take any shit off anybody. You know, I tell you the truth like it is. I've just lost 157 pounds. Because I came off TV about 6 years ago, kind of weight problem. I've sorted it out. We're back on TV. It's like, this is what you guys can do. It's 100% guaranteed that once you go through our program and understand what the brain and the conscious and subconscious brain, central nervous system is all about, you'll be aghast of what you can actually do. So coming out of a wealthy family, it's kind of already there. You kind of made your money. You've got that blanket. Arnold Schwarzenegger told me, never have a plan B. That's what he told me. 1979, when I picked him up from the airport and drove him to the hotel. I was a bodybuilder back in the day. He says, never have a plan B. So when people come to me, it's plan A only. We don't talk about plan Bs, don't we? It doesn't exist in us, because the mindset and neuroscience and quantum physics backs us up here. When we do the work and set our mind, you can do anything that you want to do. And that's it. And I find that poor people like me and you have more of a drive to get there and prove a point to us and other people around us.
I like what you said. I want to pick up on something that you said, that you struggled with weight. You had gained weight. Obviously, as a bodybuilder, that probably really sucked too. But I think that that is important because you made the statement about being arrogant just before that. And then you talked about your failure and really what is another form of recovery for yourself,
Yes.
right?
100%. It was a private thing that I wanted to do. It was like I got it just, it creeps on and creeps on,
Mm-hmm.
and before I knew what day it was, 370 pounds, 18 months ago. And I knew I had to do something about it. So I said, hey, I want to be the best 63-year-old guy that's ever lived and ever been out there. I want to be good looking. I want to be fit. I want to be able to run miles and miles. And so that's what I did. I used my own practices of the neuroscience and stuff, and I set about it. And it was pretty easy, really. It really was once the mindset. See, the mind sits inside the brain. You can't touch this guy, feel it, anything like that, but it sits inside the brain. It's energy, hence the saying mind over matter, the brain's matter. What if we could program the mind every morning to run that day and have an amazing day? Well, we can. Mm-hmm. See, what happens when we wake up in the morning is the subconscious brain wakes us up. That guy wants to kill us and make it look like an accident. So this guy's been running most of your life, okay? There's certain things that we teach our guys to do first thing in the morning. Lack of oxygen, subconscious brain rife. Oxygen saturation, dead, conscious brain in for the day. Resets every 24 hours. So when you even know that tiny bit of information, then you know exactly what's going on. You know that this is a possibility and that he's not just some English guy spouting off some stuff. Like, you will never see me on this show selling my services. I don't want your business. Now, you want to go to the foundation? Great. But I don't need business. I take on guys that are going to change the world, just like you are. Because that's what she does, Colin. She goes out and she finds people who are changing the world in a huge way. That's the shows are going. Don't care if you've got a person or a billion people. That's not the point. So as soon as you come up on screen, it's like, holy shit. Oh, my God, he's my guy.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Alpha males recognize alpha males.
Mm-hmm.
And together we can change the world.
I love that. What I want to do is I'd love to kind of, again, you're I don't think you're worried about this, but kind of explain what you do and walk me through some of that. And I don't know whether it makes sense to actually ask me questions and walk me through a little bit of it, kind of to do that. I'm not trying to get a free session with you, but that, I'm just looking for a way to really walk the listener through what some of this looks like. I've been doing some mindset stuff lately. I've got a good friend of mine that we work on some different things. It's probably different methodology than you, but I'm at a place where I want to make I'm 50, about to be 52 in December. I am convinced and ready to make my 50s my best decade ever. I've had some great successes. I've had great failures. I'm not where I want to be with my business, with this Maxed Out Man project, with, even my marriage, which is amazing, almost, over 29 years, all of those things, but I'm not quite where I want to be, but I know that I have the potential to do almost anything.
Exactly. And that's where most people are that come to us. They've tried everything else and there's something missing. They know there's something missing. It's easy, our program. It's 1 hour a day, either via telehealth or here in the offices. 1 hour a day. That's all it is for 90 days. What we do during that process is, obviously, we find out who you are, and then we go back to your childhood and we find out that trauma, that something happened here, that's happening here, and you can't correlate. We use tools like brain spotting, somatic experience, 9D breathwork, therapy, psychology, behavioral science, all the stuff put together in a program that will get you to where you want to be. But the idea is when you come along, everyone says I don't have childhood trauma. Well, this is why we do, okay? You don't know you have it. Sits in the subconscious brain, but the reason why you're here and not here is because of what's happened over there. So as a toddler, your mum might have said, hey, don't touch the stove, it'll burn you. We touch it, ow, it burns us, we start crying. Fundamental lesson there as a toddler is whatever mum says is the truth. So we believe that, okay? Then we believe what dad tells us the truth. As we go through life, we realize that's not true. And we can't trust everybody. So 99% of the brain says what they tell me is the truth. And then obviously we get up to adult life and it turns around 90%, 97%, something like that, believes yes. But the other 1% or 2% is that guy that makes a comment. So 1,000 people, you're amazing. One person said, "Oh no," because that 1% is still there. So we'll get an incident from a caregiver here that we're acting out here. Most entrepreneurs that work with me are scared of failure and scared of success, because we can only take so much failure. What would success look like for me? And you'll be surprised how many people are not ready for that, not ready for the next level. So I do $1 million a year. I'm doing pretty good. Like, why don't you earn 2? That's impossible. Bang, there's your problem. Who put that impossible in your head? And then we go back and we trace that childhood trauma. We trace when somebody said it to him. And you've got to surround yourself with the right people that are lifting you up every day. Even this guy, listen to this guy. "Hey, Kevin, you used to be good, not so much now." I'm just joking. And that guy has got to be gone.
Yeah.
There's always one person around you that wants you to fail. In 25, 30 years of me doing this, always one person in immediate family or friends that wants you to fail. 2 kinds of people in this world: the people that love you for who you are and the people that want to be you. So during the process, as we go through, we're clearing up all the past, and then we do a lot of subliminal work with people. So we get their subconscious brain, clear the trauma, and then what happens is we ignite most days the conscious brain. So when the prefrontal cortex goes, give me an answer to this problem, the conscious brain kicks in and goes, "Holy shit, it's a piece of cake. What are you worried about? It's easy. You've done this before." The change from the 70% to the 100% is life or death for some people. That's what we do. It's not days and days. After 3 months, go away. We don't want to see you again. We've taught you everything you need to know. Go and do it. And we say to people that come that have no job, say to parents, by the time we finish when they have a job, they have his own apartment, car, and everything like that. And they go, "Well, he's been in the bedroom for 5 years, not doing anything." I don't care. He showed me he's ready. We're going to take him to the next level. And you would be aghast secretly how many people that you look up to, because household names. If I could, that's been through this program. We're very discreet. Who we work with. But it's the difference, man. And most entrepreneurs, I've got, 8 businesses. I have 4 businesses. We're looking good. We're wearing the stuff. We're driving the cars, all stuff like that. But deep down inside, what's perturbing you at midnight when everyone else is asleep? That's keeping you up. That stuff. Because most people that are acting at 60%, but should be 100, when you go to bed, the mind switches on. That mind switching on is draining you of anything in the future that you could do. So you have to quiet that mind down. And that comes with making lists to do, having goals for the day, milestones for the day, making sure we're checking stuff off through the day. And you're seeing a better you every single day. Because if I'm going to do a caption right now to tell everyone what it's about, it'll be this. 300 neural pathways, there are billions, 300 neural pathways die every day in the brain. What are you replacing them with? That's it. That's what we do. We rewire brains. We recircuit patterns. And you have no choice but to be that person that you should always be. No choice. So you don't have a choice when you come in and go, "Dr. Rob, I'm all yours. I just do whatever you tell me I'm going to do." Got a choice, you'll do it. Do A, B, and C will follow.
That's amazing. I do. And it's funny because I was actually having this conversation yesterday about, like, in my life, if I look across my life, it's probably 90% there, right? Like, I feel like, and it's really probably more like 50% there. But, I've been super blessed to be able to feed into the lives of tons of men from all around the world and all walks of life. And I'm very excited to announce that I do have a couple of spots available right now. If you're interested in working with me, and we can talk about pretty much anything: marriage, business, fitness, parenting, being a dad, dogs, cars, whatever you want to talk about, I'm available to do that. We want to focus on the things that may be most beneficial to you and some things that you may not even know would be beneficial to you. You've listened to the podcast. You kind of know my style. If you are interested in working with me, I want to try to make it as simple as possible, but I also want to make sure we're a good fit. Send an email to coaching@maxoutman.com and just give me 2 pieces of information: why you would like to work with me and what that might mean for you, what things you would hope to accomplish by meeting with me. That'll kick off the process. I'll reach back out to you. We can jump on a call and see whether or not it would be a good fit. So go to maxedoutman.com, coaching@maxedoutman.com. Send me an email with those two pieces of information, and we'll see if it's a good fit. And I hope it is, and I hope that we can actually connect. One of my biggest struggles, the conversation I was having, is this constant, like, and I'll just call it the cash flow loop, the cash flow fear loop, right? So as an entrepreneur, I have a certain I have X number of dollars in the bank. That's my cash flow. That's my cash available. And then I compare that constantly with revenue numbers, right? So this week was up, but what about next week, right? What does next week look? And my assumption is that is what's driving me to continue not to have, the success I want. One of my businesses is in the automotive space. We sell automotive detailing products and different things. So COVID fake economy was amazing for us because everybody was home spending quote unquote free money. So our revenue's down from that, and things are okay, but they're not where we want them to be. I think this business can be $1 million, $2 million, $3 million business. It's nowhere near that right now.
100%.
But it's that loop, right? That I constantly go, like, I don't have that loop when I think about my wife and my marriage and my kids and my, home and all of those things. But this is the loop that gets me. And that's what happens at night, right?
Let me tell you what's going on. Perfect example. Thank you for sharing that, Kevin, with me. The part of your brain is called the basal ganglia. Now, the basal ganglia is, with most people, are broken, especially with people coming up through the trauma and stuff like that. We're broken, and there's a reset button on there. This is what happens. So when let's say it's a repetition, strength, and confirms part of the brain. Like driving a car, first time, awkward, 2 months later, reverse down the driveway, waving to your girlfriend, texting, listen to music all at the same time. It's a working part of the mind. The basal ganglia has picked that up. With people like you, Kevin, what happens is, imagine the clock face. At 10 after, things are going well. Home's going well, looking good. At 20 after, you're doing some deals. That's amazing. That month's amazing. At 22, oh my God, we've had a great month. Let's look forward to next month. And the next month, you self-sabotage because of something in the past. So you're happy with, because you have a control over any finances you want. You can earn whatever you want to do. Everyone. I mean, that's simple. It's not simple if you don't know. It's like crazy. How can you say that? But it is. Yeah. So others have done that. But something at 10 to the hour is driving you back to that poverty-driven mind where you don't deserve it. So as crazy as it may seem to you, you will self-sabotage some business deals without you knowing you're self-sabotage. You think, I've done my best. No, you haven't. You've walked into that mindset going, something, I can't do this. Or, hey, we've had a great month. You're expecting the next month to not be so great. It's like somebody's put that there. So the idea is finding who it is and moving you on. I mean, again, for me, it's simple. But it's not just, mindset. I went to a conference once and I was only speaking. So I went, say you want to be a millionaire. Who's a millionaire? What the f is that about? What? Write down, you bet. What? And this guy was getting paid for this shit. I'm like, that isn't going to work. Well, I get the same crowd every year. What does that tell you? You're trying to full stream. And like, give real stuff where people are going to achieve their goals that is attainable and will also carry them through. So you have to reprogram that part of the brain so there's no self-sabotage and attend to. You have to hit the amygdala. These are the three parts of the brain that differ. The amygdala with all that trauma shit that you carry that you don't know it's trauma, and then the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is our survival part of the brain from birth. It tells us to drink water, eat food. But with some people, especially alcoholic, it turns round and either tells them to drink alcohol or self-sabotage to survive, Kevin, to survive. So you're going to self-sabotage, and the hypothalamus, which the only major part it plays, is telling you how to stay alive. Make sure you eat this, otherwise you'll die. Okay? What most people in your situation, the hypothalamus says, make sure you fail this month, it'll keep you alive. And that mindset is subconscious. So you don't know it's happening. But you come in there. I bet I could go through every business right now and tell you it's a $10 million business. And you're not stupid. I just look at you and know you've got your shit together. You're streetwise. I don't like the word hustling, but we both know what it means. You've got to do that shit. It's just like there's that part of the brain that keeps going, no, we can't go there. And that's what happens to most entrepreneurs is they put the brakes on their imagination because they don't think they're worthy. To be worthy, you have to be blonde enough, tall enough, thin enough, and rich enough. It's just not true. Somebody's put that there. People told me for a long time if money would make you happy. When you buy your first Porsche GT, when you buy, yeah, got it, no good. When you buy your first, yeah, when I get $1 million, yeah, get 10 million, yeah, done all that, doesn't make me happy. I had to work on me with somebody else working on me to get to the point now. Money is never my problem, hasn't been for 10 years. I have to worry about that stuff. And I have a lot of stuff today, Kevin, that very few people have. And that is enough. I have enough. And when you're in that state of mind, then you can work with other people to get them there to that state of mind.
I always tell people if money is your objective, you'll never make enough. I mean, it's just such a moving target, and it doesn't make you happy, like people say. I mean, there's a certain level of comfort, right? Yeah. Like that's, it's better than being destitute.
Yeah. But hey, listen, I've been poor and rich, and I choose rich every time. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't think anybody out there is choosing poor if they have the choice. No. I'm going to just continue to full disclosure, but one of the challenges I think I have, and I think a lot of people have, is I'm aware of my childhood traumas. Like I've most of them, let's say. I'm sure there's some that I don't, but I've almost told myself that I've worked through them. I've come through them. I'm okay with them and that kind of thing. And I'm not really like my mom made me do this or because she was this and all that stuff. Like I don't do that. Is that something that you see as pretty common with people?
Yeah. They're looking for the big traumas. Like, well, I never cried. My parents never got divorced. It's like, no, it's like a million times deeper than that's happened to you. But yeah, we see that a lot. First people say, I got no trauma. I'm like, well, what do you do? I'm an entrepreneur. What's your yearly income? About 200 grand a year. Yeah, you have trauma. Everybody has it, but it's not like you think it is. So most people come to us with that mindset. I know what trauma I've been through. Well, if you know what trauma, that's not the shit that's holding you back. Unfortunately, that's the stuff you've dealt with. Why aren't you in your business? And I'm saying this to the clients and patients out there. Why aren't you the top of your industry? Well, Dad, it's an excuse. Give me a reason why you aren't running. Who's your competitor? Blah, blah, blah. How much did he take? 5 million a year. Okay. Why are you not taking 6 and 7? Well, they've been around. It's an excuse. Give me a reason. And they can't give me a reason because that basal ganglia is broken. And subconsciously, again, I can't keep telling you this, Kevin, subconsciously we revert back to what people have told us and our surroundings. And all of a sudden, when you start getting wealthy, the imposter syndrome comes in. If they only found out who I was, and that affects next month's. It's crazy how it goes round and round and round, and we're just chasing. So we might not be chasing the money all the time, but we're chasing something, and we can never live in the now and have enough. And when you do get in the now, like all the patients has been through here, the money will come. Everything you want will come because you live in the 24 hours. So if you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious and fearful, you're living in the future. We've only got now. I used to hate it when people said that. You've only got now, and you don't have time. You don't have time, guys. And how do we know? Everything I say, we've tested, researched in laboratories, hospitals, scientific researchers. We've scientists, everything. We went to care homes with people that we know or with families, and we're allowed to ask a dying patient one question. If there was something you're going to tell another human being right now, what would it be? And 9 out of 10 people says, I thought I had more time. We don't, guys. Mums or dads, 1 minute I'm waving them off to kindergarten. The next minute they say they're waving them off to college. You don't have time. Date that girl, buy that house, start that empire today. Don't wait till tomorrow. We have a 7.3 second rule in this company that if you think of something or you want to be or you set yourself and do it, you've got to move towards it in the first 7.3 seconds. Otherwise, it does not get done. So if I'm on the couch tonight, I got a big bag of chips, big can of Coke, I'm sat there in my pajamas and I turn around to my wife and say, I think I might go to the gym tomorrow. I ain't going to the gym tomorrow. I know it, she knows. The bloody dogs know I'm not going to the gym tomorrow. But with that 7.3 second time frame, if I put the stuff down, walk into the bedroom, get the sneakers and the top and the shorts, put it in my car or near the door, there's a good chance because I've stepped towards that idea or dream instead of sitting back and going, well, I'm going to do, because there you're in the comfort zone. No champions are born in the comfort zone, man. Nobody. You got to take what you know and turn it into what you love. You got to forget about the money. The money will come always, every single time it'll come. Start concentrating on what you're good at in this world and capitalize on what you're good at. So all the crap out is going to hold you back, because it will. And the person goes, I don't know why it's holding me back. It's like when we start getting down to the work, you go, holy shit, right? I thought this had nothing to do with it. Yeah, it does. Just the way the human mind and brain work.
And is that the logistic side? Like, I'm a, pragmatic and all that. So when someone says, hey, anything's possible, you can make as much money as you want, you can do all those things, right? Like, I believe that. But then the other part of my brain says, yeah, but how do I do it? There's some steps that have to be taken to make that happen, right? Like, I mean, I'm pretty well set up with my business processes and those kind of things, but I know there's levels for improvement. Is that just a mindset that allows me to do the things that I'm doing well already, and to recognize the things I'm not? Like, how does that where does the rubber meet the road, so to speak? I'm a car guy, right?
Depending what it is, both. It's usually in the subconscious brain. But one of the questions we ask people, and I get it all the time, Dr. Robb, I just started to practice. I'm a therapist. I'm a doctor. I'm like, how much should I charge an hour? Well, there's your problem. You don't know your worth. That's it. So we'll self-sabotage on that, or it won't go forward. Or that big meeting that I could have with all the directors in that billion-dollar company. Really? That's what you're telling yourself? If and buts. That's what you're telling yourself. If you think you can do it, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right. The mind is so powerful when you start getting to what we can achieve is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. But we don't. And the idea is to find why we don't. Okay? So you have a car detailing business. It takes $1 million a year, but Blue Shine around the corner is doing $20 million a year. My first step would be, what are they doing that I'm not doing? First of all, let's find out what they're doing. And I'm not having, well, they have 20 years in the industry. I don't care. If you have a month in the industry, when you know what you're about, your worth, your childhood traumas have been sorted out, you find out your identity. It's a big one. You really are. $20 million, nothing. If you're gonna head towards $1 million or pray for $1 million and why not 10? Well, I'm not too sure. Really? If me and you was listen to this, Kevin, and I hate to single you out, but you're hearing from me. If me and you swap places right now, and you could see you from where I am, you would laugh why you're not taking 20 million a year. You would laugh, and then you'd hate yourself because you're $1 million mind. I can see by behavioral science, psychology. That's my deal. You're $1 million mind. But right now you're hanging around 10-cent minds. And they're stopping you seeing your value and your worth and your identity. Identity is based on people around us. Hey, I see that haircut's amazing. Oh, yeah, it's amazing. Good. That haircut, shit. Oh, God, it's shit. And we take it on. And then that becomes internal dialogue. Once it becomes internal dialogue, it becomes a working part of the mind. The mind and the brain act the behavioral science part of it, and you are done. Might as well pack up everything now and go home. You're either going to do it or you're not. I'm the best in the world at what I do. My company I'm the highest paid doctor in Texas. Surgeons, everything, neuroscience. I'm the highest paid doctor in Texas. I'm in the 1% of this world. Why? Did my work. I help others. I achieve life success. Keeps me having success. It keeps me humble. And I can pass this shit on when people don't know it's happening to them. It's like, why? You're an all or nothing guy. I can tell just looking at you, Kevin. Why aren't you all in this? And the question is, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's the part of the subconscious and the trauma from the past and possibly friends around you right now that's causing that. We are the 9 people we hang around with, they say. Hang around 9 billionaires, you will become a billionaire and you'll be the 10th. It's how we mirror each other's energy and brain. So what we did is an experiment, and I think you'll like this. We got 20 people in a room, and we told them, come along, please have coffee. We're going to wire it up here, and then obviously the heart was going to monitor some stuff. Brilliant. What they didn't know is we had 2 doctors, 2 mechanics, 2 teachers, all mingling We was watching what happened when, like a poor person met a rich people. When the mechanic met the doctor, okay, they really had nothing to talk about, okay? And when the doctor met the doctor, so the presence at the bottom where one serves another, okay, mechanic and doctor, he went up by 10%. Doctor meets doctor randomly, goes up by 20%. When a guy who sweeps the streets for a living and a neurosurgeon started talking, but they were both being authentic with each other, it spiked to 100%. So authentication, being authentic with each other and knowing who you are and what you can provide to this world as a human being, that's the gift of life, knowing, because my parents died some years ago. We were over there sorting all the stuff out, and my friend was sorting the pictures out. And he goes, Rob, black and white photo. We're like this, bodybuilders, of our time with 1920. Oh my God, have you seen? Oh my God, look at us. Oh God, look at our waist. We were so good looking, man. It's like, yeah, he says, those were the days, man. And I stopped, and I don't know why. And I thought to myself, but we didn't know those were the days back then.
Mm-hmm.
What if today's one of those days? And that's how I live my life today. I'm going to look back in 10 years' time to this day I was speaking to you, because I know my worth. I know how time works. I know how the brain works. I know my identity. I know everything about me going forward, and how I can help people and be just peaceful with me. So it also ties into we don't have time, man. It's like, you've got to do it now.
And are you having a good time? Sounds like you're having a good time.
Oh, man, I have everything I want, everything I need. I have a beautiful wife. I have 2 English bulldogs. I've got the house of my dreams, the cars. Oh, cars, listen to me. Couldn't even afford a fucking bus pass, 25 years ago. But the cars of my dreams. I have practices all over the world with some great people. I'm a 10 out of 10 every day. Okay. And people, you can't be happy all the time. Says who? Like you'll see that around on the internet. It says effing you is what the real thing is. It's like, why? Well, you just can't. It's human behavior. Why can't you? Who's asking? Why doesn't anybody ask these questions? Me and my wife got married, and on the second day we were married, we had a little argument about nothing. And I said, I'm not going to do this. I've done this before. Arguing, it's not. And she said, that's the way marriage is supposed to be. And I said, says who? And we looked at each other and we thought, you know something? I don't like these rules. We're going to make our own rules up. We'll laugh. We're throwing stuff at each other in the bathroom. It's like, says who? Who's making these rules up that we live in today because they're broken, first of all. And secondly, you can do anything you want. You have to have that mindset, man. I don't care if you sell matches on the side of a road. Why not become the best match seller on the side of the road that owns an empire? Why not? And it's all the stuff we talked about that keeps us from doing it.
I love it. I have on my board, and I've said this many times on the podcast, but my goals are have fun, serve others, build a life. Right. Yeah. So if I'm doing that, everything else falls into place. This has been super great. I know you got to go. It's been really enriching to me to have this initial conversation with you, and I can't wait to have additional conversations with you. It's a lot of fun, and you're fun to hang out with. So I appreciate that. I appreciate what you're doing. If people do want to find out more about you, go to robbkelly.com. Is that the website?
Yeah, if you're just listening, not watching, I spell my name with 2 B's, ROBBKELLY.com. Come friend us, all the social medias. We don't want your business. However, the RobbKellyFoundation.org is a non-profit we just started. If you want to give $1 to that, I'll be grateful. And that dollar goes to, with other money, and might buy a guy a suit to go to court to get his kid back once a week. You will get an email from that guy thanking you for that $1 that helped him get to court.
I love that. I love that. Dr. Robb, I appreciate you, man. Have a great day.
You too, man. Thanks very much.
If you're looking to really maximize your life and become the man you were made to be, head over to maxedoutman.com and get your journey started today.